Hi everybody, this is my sister Pat.
Hi.
Told she's coming over for a visit and she's here. She's been waiting for me to get organized and ready for the day because I of course didn't get my house picked up or cleaned before she came over today. Whatever, she knows. She's seen my house messy 8 million times. And I always have the hidden drawers in rooms that if you open it up it's full of whatever and it falls out. So she's used to it.
Oh yeah, very used to it.
She knows I'm not very organized at home. Like I've said before, not organized at home, but at work I am. So anywho, we're sitting down, we're just going to have a little chat today about we're going to talk about hair. About my Grandma Bean, Bernice Margaret Bean. And my mother was Beth Margaret Bean Weber Zentner by the time she was done with the end of her life. She had a couple husbands. The last one was a keeper though. She married the first one twice. We don't know why, but probably because it was Pat's dad. And she wouldn't have had you otherwise, would she? Did you come?
I don't know where that fell in at. I don't think she would have because she had Dick and Dean. And then me and Keith came along. So yeah, it was between them.
Between sometime in there. So we're not quite sure. We were listening to my mom's little video. And we were trying to put together timelines of marriages and children and remarriages, and from what I can tell, because she said she was married to Bob in 46 or 47. They were married for 17 years total, and I don't know if she counts the time off in there in that total or not. We don't know. Anyway, so that would have been until about 63 before she was legally divorced. But they probably didn't live together or whatever, you know.
No, they did not.
Yeah. Or did they? No. It's hard to tell. You know, just like
Kinda,
modern.
sorta, but not really.
Yeah. Came to visit.
Extended stays.
Yeah. So, then she met my dad. We're thinking, so she was legally divorced in 63 sometime. That would have been Bob Weber, Pat's biological father. Yep. And then she married my father, Lo Killian Zentner, in 64.
Okay.
And we do know that it had to have been 64 because they were married in 64, and my mom and dad met and only knew each other for 6 weeks.
Not very long.
And they moved in together.
Yes.
And they moved in together before they were legally divorced. Or no, they moved in together before they were legally married.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
right?
They did.
How did that go?
Well, every night when Mom got off from work and Dad got off from work, or my stepdad, they'd come to my mother's place in St. Paul Park, and they would carry me from the bedroom me and Mom slept together in. They would carry me out to the couch, and I slept in the living room, and I guess they slept in that bed.
As far as you know. But
yes,
you never talked about it in front of Grandpa and Grandma Bean, which would have been my mom's parents, because Grandpa and Grandma Bean had a different anniversary date than the legal date.
Yes.
By how much time was the difference? Was it a month or two, or?
Oh, at least.
A couple months?
Yeah.
So they said they were legally married, but they weren't right away because they lived together and they didn't want Grandpa and Grandma Bean to know that. Okay. So they have 2 anniversary dates.
Yes.
Grandpa and Grandma Bean. And Grandma Bean, I think, did find out or knew or something years later, but never said anything to Mom.
No, yeah, she kind of figured it out, but she never said
Yeah, never talked.
Yeah.
Didn't talk about it.
No.
So, anyway, so that's kind of a little mini history. You know how I start off on other tangents. What we were going to talk about was my grandparents and Mom's hair, and because I've been kind of into doing some vintage hair stuff, and my sister Pat is been a beautician for how many years now?
Oh, 35 plus.
That's good enough. That's all you have to do is say 35 plus. That's good enough. You figured it out yourself. So I was looking at old pictures of Grandma, and when she was young, she wore kind of a straight bob, and Grandma would have been her going out years, or early 20 years would have been in the 1920s, mid or 20s to 25. That would when Grandma would have been, because Grandma must have been born around 1900, I'm thinking.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
1900 to 1910, somewhere in there, because our mom was born in 1927.
So, yeah.
So she was during the flapper time.
Yes.
It's kind of the turn of the century when it was going over from Victorian, and Downton Abbey times is exactly what it would have been.
There you go.
Anyway, so I can remember Grandma had the straight bob, but I don't remember too much about how she fixed her hair. So what do you remember about Grandma fixing her hair?
When she had the bob, I really don't remember.
That was long ago.
That was kind of, I just remember when she started doing the finger waves.
True finger waves, or how'd she do
Yes.
her finger waves?
Let me see if I can, yeah, they were true finger waves. I mean, put the goop on there, and then you just did each wave. But then after she put the waves in, she would put the long clamps in.
And that's what these are.
Yes.
You're talking about? Okay.
Yes.
I don't know what the official word for these are.
Wave clamps.
Wave,
yeah.
oh.
Yep, you just
Wave clamps.
made your finger wave, put this on the ridge of the finger wave, and put it in there until it dried.
Oh, until you left these until it dried then.
Yes.
So you probably wouldn't sleep in these necessarily?
No, well,
Probably.
her hair was probably partially dry,
Oh, okay.
you know, so just to keep them in there, and then she'd just have it like, they called it shingled up the back. So
Okay.
she always went to the barber shop because the barber was the only one to truly know how to do a taper shingle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which is kind of popular. That shingle thing is more popular today now. But
Yes.
they did
Yes.
that back then.
And this hair here,
That's
from
crazy.
here until probably just below her crown and her ears, was probably very long.
Oh, it was.
Very long to get the finger waves in, yep, and it just waved back to like right by her ear. Yep.
Oh, and she went to the barber to get that shingle cut
She
up the
did.
back, that short. I don't think I ever remember seeing any pictures or Grandma with any long hair. Not even here. I mean, it was always short
don't-
hair.
I never remember her in longer hair. Always short.
Yeah.
She did go to the beauty shop once every couple weeks. When I was little, I remember she took me with her. And I think once she let me get my hair done.
Oh.
Just once. And I got in trouble because this was when they lived in Crystal. The little neighbor girl had a swimming pool. And she wanted me to come over swimming, so I did, and I got my hair wet. Oh, and Mom reamed my butt. Oh, I got in trouble.
Oh, I suppose.
Grandma spent money fixing my hair.
Oh, it was Grandma's money. Yeah, it was
Yes.
Grandma's money.
Yes.
So you never had Grandma spend money on anything.
No.
You know, she bought you I can't remember when we were little, she'd always say, well, she never would say, let's go for an ice cream cone. She'd say, let's go for a Dairy Queen.
Yes,
Yeah.
a Dairy Queen.
Yeah, let's go for
Yes.
a Dairy Queen. Which, and
Yes.
you always got a small cone, and she might get a small
Yes.
sundae.
Me, yeah.
But you never got any big banana split or anything. It was always a little something. It was
No.
just a
Yeah.
special treat. So I can remember that Grandma, and then later she did that. Better stop. I know I start clicking stuff. I know it drives you guys crazy. And then after that, I can remember she probably started roller setting her hair. I would say when she was in her 30s and 40s from what the pictures look, you know, like set it in hair rollers.
Grandma?
Grandma
Ah.
Bean. Grandma Bean. Or did
Not
she do
that I know of, no.
Oh, she did
never.
that? Finger wave for
I remember when she was in the trailer.
doing finger waves yet?
Yeah.
Crazy. So that would have
Yeah.
been in the 60s. So
Yes.
she was still doing a finger wave even then.
I remember that's the only thing Grandma ever did.
I can remember she always had some type of clip or something in her hair, but I really never knew what it was. And that she'd have
Yeah.
a net on at night.
Yes.
Oh wow, isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Something that you did when you were younger, that you kept doing that because that's what you learned or what you knew.
Yep, that's what she knew, and she could get it done just like that.
Oh yeah, you know, for us, if we're trying to reproduce something like that,
Oh.
it would take us forever, and I'd
Really,
be
but
swearing, and it wouldn't be good. I do that with my hair, and I'm using foam rollers. So that's kind of like Grandma's evolution. And then, of course, when she got to be older and she couldn't take care of her hair, she'd go to the beauty parlor and have it set and comb
Yep.
it out and wear hair nets and all that good stuff.
Yep.
And then I remember I showed you some of the older pictures of my mom back there, and from the old pictures, it looks like she did pin curls. I think I remember you showing, these look like they were pin curl sets. She must have did a pin curl or a rag curl, you said maybe.
Rag. Yeah, rag.
Rag curls. That's
Yeah.
what that was in those old pictures, and I've showed you those before.
Yeah.
But rag rolls, and then so those are the old pictures of Mom with that. But I can remember Pat telling me a story that I'm gonna let her tell about Mom's high school hair,
Oh, her graduation.
her graduation hair.
Oh. Okay, now this is Okay, there was a train that used to come through, and that was how you could get a perm. Some ladies rigged up on a train that came through town to do perms. And that is when this great big contraption, and they put metal rollers in, and this hot clip went over it. And they put this solution on, so you sat there with these hot clips on, processing. Okay, so that was all done. Well, you can imagine with the heat and the clamps, way over processed. So poor Mom had this frizz out to here. And there's nothing you could do about it. I mean, it was burnt, it was frizzy.
And chemical. And they use chemicals too.
Yes, the chemicals.
And was that, the clamps are hot, but was that hooked up to electricity?
Yes, yes.
To keep them hot?
Yes, it came out of like this hood thing.
Yeah, I remember seeing pictures of that. I'll have to find one of those and see if I can link it to this.
Yeah, and these things would dangle down, and this clip would go on these like rollers. And it would heat it up, and that's how the perm would take.
That,
the heat.
so it activated the chemical.
Yes.
Oh, Lord. I can't even imagine.
Oh, yeah. And there was, Mom said you got burn marks. Because the clamps would touch your scalp, and then you get burned. Yeah. So my mother was very, very, very upset that Grandma made her get this perm. And it was her high school pictures, graduation.
And I remember seeing those pictures of just a big,
yeah,
fuzzy hair. I'm like, what went on with that?
Yeah, so
Oh.
that was, yeah.
So, and I think probably, and that was her high school graduation. And then shortly after that, she moved away from home.
Yes.
She moved down to Rochester, and
Yep.
then back to Minneapolis and back to Rochester. But then I can see where she was starting to do setting things with her hair again, and curlers and rollers and whatever.
Pretty much rollers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, I'm imagining Mom probably used were what were bristle rollers.
Excuse me.
I think they were bristle rollers.
Yes.
Because I think these were pretty popular.
Yes, the brush rollers,
Brush.
as we call them. Yes.
All types of different size, and they have a metal, they're bristly, they have like a brush in them, like a fuller brush, and then a metal cage with and then you'd roll that in your hair, and I'm sure you've seen the tutorials, and then you put the little thing on there and clip it in, but that's a little brush thing. And then
it was rolled tight to your head.
Yep.
You stuck that pick in, and sometimes the picks really hurt.
Yeah.
Because you had to get that in there really tight.
Because you want a nice tight curl so it would last.
Exactly.
So I remember Mom having, before her beauty parlor days, I can remember Mom having her hair in these, rolled up in these type of things.
Yep.
So that was just a little chit chat we wanted to do about our grandma and our mom's hair.
Yeah.
And the, what are those clips called again? The big clips?
Wave clips.
Wave clips. Finger wave clips.
Yep.
So we had those, and of course, you know, pin curls were done also with the pin curl clips that you guys have seen on 8 million YouTube channels.
Those are the modern. Otherwise, you used
The wave
pin
or bobby pins.
bobby pins. Yes.
Bobby pins. I suppose those were fancy because it was a little spring that was kind of nice
that was
thing to have.
fancy ones.
And the brush rollers. So that was kind of Grandma and Mom's generation were those setting techniques, and of course the rag curls.
The rag curls, yes.
Yeah, were used too. I haven't tried that technique yet. I had some rag, but they have the rag sponge curlers, and they had a wire in them, and I just don't like them. But I'm gonna try the rag. I'm gonna
regular rags, and the rags have come and gone. I mean, they're popular, then they're not, then they come back, and so.
One thing about when you do a wet set on your hair, that wet set curl is like no other.
Oh, definitely.
You know, people do the
there.
Yeah, it stays, and I can use my wet set for 3 days, and I probably could stretch it longer, but I can't stand the itch on my scalp and have to wash my hair. So you probably could do it longer. So we're going to take a little break here, and when we come back, we're going to talk about how my sister did her hair and getting ready, and how she got ready, and makeup and hair and rollers and gels and all that type of stuff. So we're going to take a little break, have a little glass of wine, and then we'll be back in a couple minutes.
Okay.